What's up? TiggPolitics back again, baby, and I just want to watch this funny video, man. It's Jesse, what's his name, man? Jesse Jackson, I believe it is. Either way it go, I think he is a very funny dude. He's having a interview with, he says, meeting with black, like BLM, I said BLM, almost became physical violent. Wow. Let's get it.
To the rallies, and then you met with members of Black Lives Matter, which is worse than the KKK in my opinion. And it seemed like that meeting with them was worse than the meetings that you had with the Klansmen. Did you get the same impression?
Yes.
And why was it harder?
You're referring to a scene in a documentary about me.
Yes.
Yeah. But now let's understand something. Black Lives Matter is not an organization per se. There's no headquarters, and then there are all these chapters of Black Lives Matter all over the country that they follow the policy that is created at the headquarters. All right, Black Lives Matter is a movement, and so there are no chapters. There are factions, and each little faction has their own little leader who does not answer to any president at the headquarters.
Yeah,
like say, the Red Cross is an organization. The Boy Scouts of America is an organization. So wherever the headquarters is, there's a president there, there's a board, and they create policy and they disseminate that policy to all the chapters in the country. So the Red Cross in Brooklyn, New York operates the exact same way as the Red Cross in San Jose, California.
Right.
With Black Lives Matter, it is not that. Okay, it's not centralized. So each one is operating on its own, autonomously. So as a result, you have some factions of Black Lives Matter that want to go around town and tear down statues and spray paint BLM all over the place and just and fight and carry on. And then you have some factions that want to sit down with the city or county legislature and say, hey, we need to address this problem. Can you write up a bill to pass a law to do this and do that? That's the way you do things. You sit down, you make proposals, you get the council people on your side, they write up the legislation, and you create a law. So there are factions that do that as well. So the faction that
I gotta say this, Jesse, a funny looking motherfucker, ain't it? He funny looking, bro.
You saw in Baltimore, Maryland, was one of the more.
It look like his face spray painted on, bro. He don't look like. He look like what's that motherfucking name? Tropic Thunder. White dude that did blackface in Tropic Thunder. That's who the fuck he look like.
Aggressive renegade type of faction.
Yeah.
But that's not all Black Lives Matter, because I've had at least 6 different factions of Black Lives Matter contact me and say, hey, we've been watching you. We appreciate what you're doing. Do you give workshops? Can you come teach us how to do what you do? And then there are other factions that attack me and try to rip me a new one,
Yeah. With that particular group that you met on the documentary and you were having a conversation, were you able to get through before the conversation ended or during the conversation? Were you able to get through to them at all?
Yes and no. Yes and no, okay? What you saw in the documentary, which is called Accidental Courtesy, you saw 8 minutes
right.
Of that contention. I felt that it was very important to show that, because people think that black people are monolithic, that we all believe the same thing, we all get along, we all, believe in the exact same thing. That's not true. Just like white people, anybody else, everybody has differences of opinions. I have my supporters, I have my detractors. Those were my detractors, okay? Now, that scene, that scenario, it went on for almost an hour, and it almost became physically violent.
Wow.
Okay, it almost became physically violent. But, we couldn't show a whole hour. Right. So I wanted to keep that in there to show, hey, racism, nobody has a monopoly on it. It's everywhere, with every different color, all right? About a year later, after the movie came out, those same people reached out to me and said, hey, we've been seeing you. We don't agree with everything, you say, but we understand some of the things that you're doing. We want to get together and talk. I said, okay. So I went to Baltimore. I had dinner with them. We sat down, we talked, we agreed on different things, and we agreed to work together. And we started working together And then one of the three people, the older gentleman, he reverted. He fell off the wagon and reverted back to the way he was in the movie.
Yeah.
So he couldn't get his head around.
That's amazing. And so what's wrong with the black?
That's amazing. He killed me when he said that shit. Every time he said, "That's amazing." That's amazing.
Well, the blacks, which blacks in particular? Those blacks?
The blacks that those that are now leading in our government, they're congressmen and women, and they're police chiefs and mayors and city council, and then you have the ones out on the streets robbing and raping and killing and carjacking and
I would say the same thing is wrong.
What is causing that in them?
The same thing that is causing what you're just describing in white people or in Hispanic people.
But the blacks seem to be leading the way, especially fewer in numbers in this country, but they are leading the way to destruction. Why don't they get a hold of themselves and say, well, what I'm doing is wrong. Maybe I can't help it, or maybe I don't understand. But what is wrong with them that as individuals, they won't pull aside and question the action? I will always question my actions so I can understand, right? Why don't they do that?
For one thing, I think a reason why anybody doesn't do that is lack of education, lack
of knowledge, education, wisdom,
of discipline.
Discipline too.
All right. So I think as a society, when I say we, I mean Americans, black, white, native, whatever. All right. We spend too much time saying, "Well, I'm not my brother's keeper." Yes, we need to be our brother's keeper. You mentioned Jesus Christ earlier.
Pull away from the crowd. Know thyself.
I thought it was gonna be something
you
crazy.
Can have a life. You don't have to go along with it.
They ain't do what I thought. I thought it was gonna be some shit. But anyways, man, like, subscribe, comment, share, all that.